You have been eating less. You have been training harder than ever. The fat is coming off your face, your arms, your chest, but your stomach? Still there, still soft, still staring back at you every morning. And you are starting to wonder if something is actually wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you, but you have been lied to. And today we are fixing that. Let us start with the biggest myth in all of fitness. Spot reduction, the idea that you can target fat loss in a specific area of your body. Every ab workout, every waist trainer, every fat-burning cream, every influencer telling you to do this one exercise, all of it is built on something that does not exist. Spot reduction has been tested in studies repeatedly. Researchers had people do hundreds of reps of single-arm exercises. The trained arm lost no more fat than the arm that did nothing. Your body does not pull fat from the area nearest to the muscle being worked, it pulls fat from wherever it decides, and you have no say in that decision. For most men, fat comes off the face and neck first, then chest and arms, then back, then legs, and last, almost always last, the lower stomach. For most women, it follows a similar pattern, but the hips, thighs, and lower body tend to hold on the longest due to estrogen. This is not your body working against you. This is your body following its own system. But here's where it gets more complicated, because genetics is not the only thing determining where your belly fat stays. There is a hormone called cortisol. You probably know it as the stress hormone, and it has a direct and significant relationship with abdominal fat storage. When cortisol is chronically elevated, your body preferentially stores fat in the abdominal region, not the arms, not the legs, specifically the stomach. And cortisol gets elevated by a lot more than just stress. Poor sleep raises cortisol. Undereating too aggressively raises cortisol. Overtraining raises cortisol. Even skipping rest days raises cortisol. This means that someone doing an extreme crash diet, training twice a day, sleeping 5 hours a night, and wondering why their belly fat will not shift is actively making the hormonal environment worse. The aggressive approach is working against you. The body reads extreme restriction as a threat and responds by holding onto abdominal fat more tightly. Then there is insulin. When insulin is chronically elevated, your body is in storage mode far more often than it is in release mode. Fat cells in the abdominal region are particularly sensitive to insulin. High insulin means your stomach fat is being told to hold on. You can be in a calorie deficit and still have hormonal signals actively resisting belly fat release. This is why the quality of your deficit matters almost as much as the size of it. A deficit built on whole foods and stable blood sugar creates a far better hormonal environment for belly fat release. Sleep is also non-negotiable here. Studies show that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night lose significantly less fat and more muscle during a diet compared to those sleeping 7 to 9 hours. So, what does actually work? Here's the honest answer. A consistent moderate calorie deficit, 200 to 300 calories below maintenance every single day. Not 500, not 1,000, moderate and sustainable. High protein intake, at least 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. Protein keeps you full, preserves muscle, and has the highest thermic effect of any macronutrient. Resistance training, not because it burns belly fat directly, it does not, but because it builds muscle, which raises your metabolic rate and improves insulin sensitivity. Adequate sleep, 7 to 9 hours. Non-negotiable if cortisol management is the goal. And time. More time than you think, more time than you want. The belly is last. That is just the biology. You cannot rush it. You can only stay consistent long enough to get there. Most people quit before they get there. They do everything right for 6 or 8 weeks. The fat comes off everywhere else. They feel like it is not working, and they stop. They were weeks away, sometimes days. The belly fat was always going to be last. That is not a sign of failure. That is a sign that the process is working exactly as it should. You do not need a different plan. You do not need a different diet. You do not need to train harder. You need to stay in the deficit long enough for your body to get there. It will get there. It always does. Slow, consistent, inevitable. Your stomach is not broken. You just have not been in the deficit long enough yet. Stay in it. The deficit does the work. Subscribe for more. No fluff, just the deficit.